I have absolutely no idea where this has come from, but the Portland Trailblazers are now winners of 9 of their last 10, including several really impressive wins. And like, I don't know what has gotten into this team, but all of a sudden they're good. Is it going to last? I don't know. But is it really impressive? Absolutely. And I think it is getting to the point where they deserve a video that just being positive about the team. Are they going to make the playoffs this year? Probably not. Are they a contender? No. Are they playing like one right now? Yes, absolutely. And I think this is providing building blocks for the future for this Portland team. Now, I'm a little concerned it's going to stagnate their activity at the trade deadline. And I don't think being really good is in their best interest. And I think some of the guys on this roster probably aren't super logical as long-term pieces, I guess I should say. But you know what? They're playing so well, it's hard to criticize right now. You know what I mean? And I mean, Chauncey Billups trying to save his job. He's going to try to win every single game he can. And I can't blame him. When they're playing like this, you just got to let the guys keep rolling. So the Trailblazers deserved a video tonight, blowing out the Indiana Pacers with a 11-point better fourth quarter, and just really kind of ran away with what was a decently competitive game up until that point. Anthony Simons with an efficient 22 points, 7 assists. Shaedon Sharpe and Scoot Henderson both have 17 off the bench. Scoot on 7 of 13, 3 of 5 from 3 has really played well as of late. He was also a plus 31 in 28 minutes. Scoot Henderson, all of a sudden looking like the player that he was drafted to be at number 3 overall. And while he still has a long way to go in terms of consistency and proving it production wise that he is going to be that elite level long-term option, he is playing great basketball and deserves a ton of credit for what he's done recently. DeAndre Ayton wasn't awesome tonight, but has been really impressive lately as well. Another guy who's playing like what he was drafted to be and not like he had been, where I think he, in all honesty, he'd kind of been a net negative for this Blazers team. Denny Avdija didn't have a great time game tonight, but he's been really good, super impactful across the board. Blazers fans are mad at me every time I mention the idea of Denny Avdija getting traded. In all honesty, I don't blame y'all. I think he is a real piece that you can build around in the future. And Tamani Kamara, Kawhi Leonard, no, I'm sorry, that might be gassed it a little bit, but the dude is a high-level defender, and he's been shooting the crap out of the ball. This team looks phenomenal. They look like they're really building something for the future, and I love the look of the young core. Guys like Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, Tamani Kamara, Denny Avdija really rounding into their own. And while, look, you got veterans like Jeremy Grant, Ayton, Anthony Simons as well, who may not quite be on the exact same timeline, but are playing really well as well recently. And it's produced a team that looks really phenomenal as of late. Very impressive stuff as a whole from the Portland Trailblazers. And like, at this point, like, look, now winners of 9 of their last 10, like, that is not something to scoff at all. And some really impressive wins in here too. You beat Miami, which isn't an insane win, but it's a nice one. Orlando, you blow them out. Beat Milwaukee by 13, beat Orlando by 29. You beat Phoenix twice in overtime, the second game as well. And then tonight, a blowout win against an Indiana team that's been playing really well as well. I mean, it's just hard to not be impressed with what the Trailblazers have been doing lately. And look, you look at the standings, they're still 4 games out of the play-in. And with the Spurs having just gotten better with the addition of De'Aaron Fox, the Mavs, despite playing really poorly lately, very soon going to get Anthony Davis and going to be high level defensively. The Warriors probably going to make some sort of big move at the deadline. We'll find out here in the next day or two as I record this video. They haven't. Could they at any time? Absolutely. And then even the Kings, I mean, they're going to be competitive-ish with LaVine, Vucevic, DeRozan, or not Vucevic, LaVine, Sabonis, and DeRozan. It's basically the old Bulls, but with Sabonis instead of Vucevic. I mean, you're looking at a team, several teams that are going to be competitive, right? Even these lower tier play-in teams at this point look like they're going to be really good. So there's not probably a realistic path to even making the play-in for the Blazers, and that's okay. Now, my biggest concern is, if you were looking for something to be concerned or critical about this streak, is that in all honesty, it's just killing their draft position. Like, it is putting them in position now where they are the 8th worst record in the league. They're going to pass the Bulls in all likelihood. Good chance they pass the Hawks as well with no Jalen Johnson. Like, you could be looking at this Trailblazers team having the 8th, 9th, 10th pick in the draft. And in a loaded draft, you're still going to get a good player, right? But it'd be nice to have a top 5 pick, and that is certainly slipping away from the Blazers with this recent hot streak after they were 13-28, and now they're 22-29. Like, I don't think they would be mad to have the 4th or 5th worst record in basketball right now, long term. And at the same time, you just have to give them a lot of credit. I know Chauncey Billups is playing for his job, or coaching for his job, so I don't blame him at all for trying to win games as much as possible. I mean, the stuff they've been doing, I looked at these stats for the last 9 games because tonight's game just ended, so it's not factored into these stats as of yet. But for the last 9 games prior to tonight, a defensive rating of 106.2 that is tops in the entire league. Shout out Denny Avdia, shout out Toumani Camara, shout out DeAndre Ayton being far more focused and locked in the defensive end of the court. And then offensive rating wise, it's certainly not shabby either. Top 9 in basketball at a 117.8, which has put their net rating as the 2nd best net rating in basketball over the past 9 games, behind only the Cavs and in front right of the Thunder and Lakers and Celtics, 3 of the hottest and best teams in basketball. That is remarkably impressive company. Not to mention, they have the best rebound percentage in the entire league in the past 10 games, or in the past 9 games as well. So they're playing elite level defense and they're getting rebounds. So teams are really struggling to score the ball on them because they're not getting a lot of extra possessions, and they're also obviously not scoring efficiently at all. And when you look at the player stats, I had to go on NBA.com just to see these player stats for these last 9 games prior to tonight. DeAndre Ayton averaging 21.5 points a game, 12.8 rebounds a game, 2.2 assists to 1.2 turnovers, shooting 60% plus from the field. That is number 1 overall pick type numbers. A guy who's going to average 21 and 13. That's an all-star caliber big. And that's what DeAndre Ayton has had the potential to be forever, but he hasn't been for so long, and I don't totally understand why, but he's really been locked in recently, even playing, in my opinion, pretty efficient defense as well. And obviously, I mean, Denny Avdia has just been a two-way monster, high-level defender, pretty efficient offensively, averaging 19, 7.5, and 4.5 a game as well. He's playing great. Anthony Simons is averaging 18.5 and 5. His efficiency's been good, almost 40% from 3 recently as well. Shaedon Sharpe, same story. Would love to see him a little bit more efficient from the 3-point line, but overall having himself a nice stretch also. I mean, Scoot Henderson having probably the best really 15 game stretch of his career, because his good performance started a few games before they really started winning, but he's averaging 14 in these last 9 games on 46%, 39.5% from 3, really showing some growth in his own right, and also averaging 5.7 assists to 2.1 turnovers. That is the Scoot Henderson, the development that you want to see. A guy who is going to score the ball at a very, very high level, do so efficiently, and also be a high level playmaker without turning the ball over as much. A nearly 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio is great growth from Scoot. And look, I'm not totally confident that this is going to be sustainable, but I like the pieces this team has now. I'm a little concerned about the age of a Jeremy Grant and guys like that not fitting in long term. And I think they would be in their best interest to potentially trade those types of players to really build towards that future, because your future is a Jeremy Grant. Your future on the wings is guys like Denny Avdia and Toumani Camara, and potentially a guy like Jabari Walker. Players like that, Chris Murray, who shows a really nice 3-point stroke in his own right. Like, I just think there is certainly a path towards maybe being a little bit worse this season and still building towards the future that the Blazers aren't going to benefit from right now, but I have to give them credit for playing this well. And it's going to be fascinating to see if they can build upon this for the rest of the season and start progressing towards being a more competitive team across the board next season and trying to challenge for a playoff spot. And obviously, I just hope Scoot Henderson specifically keeps playing well. I want to see guys like him, guys like Shaedon Sharpe, guys like Kamara and Avdia and Klingon and players like that who are part of this young core. I want to see those guys succeed. So with that being said, that's gonna do it for the video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more NBA content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.